Hello. So I thought I'd do some yoga practice because I haven't been doing enough of that lately. And then I've been doing a lot of doom scrolling though, and I thought, I'm actually a trained yoga teacher and I haven't been teaching anybody yoga for a long time. And I figure that there's a lot of people who are probably quite tense and stressed if they've been doing doom scrolling like I have. And so I thought, well, while I'm doing my practice, why not record it? And then if it can be useful to somebody else and they want to join in or watch it back at some point, then you're more than free to do so. So I just want to give also a big up to Jim Tarrant and Kadeen Morecambe, who are my yoga teachers. They've got another course coming up soon. It's the Vajrasati Yoga School, and I highly recommend that you follow that. Also apologies to them because it's been so long since I've been teaching. I'm not going to remember the Sanskrit names for anything, but anyway, you can watch and hopefully join in if you wish. So starting sitting cross-legged, hands on the knees, nice tall back, deep inhalation through the nose and exhalation through the mouth. Make a big sigh. And again, inhalation. And big exhalation through the mouth. Letting the shoulders relax, face relax. Placing one hand to the side, going to reach up with the opposite arm, leaning over. Deep inhalation into the ribs and the side body. And exhalation back to center. Inhalation opposite side, leaning over. And back to center. Going to do that once more, both sides. Breathing in. Really feeling between all of the ribs, especially if you've been scrunched up on your phone for ages. You can even do this just sitting where you are if you're not in a space to do yoga. Let your breath get into your body. Oxygenate your blood. Good, and now changing across the legs. We're going to walk the hands forwards. And a nice stretch into the glutes. Just come as far as comfortable for you. Inhalation, exhalation. You can always put a block under your bum as well, which can help with them. I've got quite a fair bit of flexibility from 15 years of circus. It's not normal. If you put a block, for instance, or you can put things under your knees for extra support as well, that can really help with the tilt of the pelvis. So, or a cushion, play with what feels good for you. Don't feel like you need to become a gymnast. And coming back to center. Crossing the legs again, opposite direction. Pull the flesh of the bum cheeks out and backwards. You can sit forward on your sitting bones. Then again, lifting up, leading with the chest and stretching forwards. Okay, coming back up to center. We're going to go onto all fours. So hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips. And we're going to arch upwards. Really stretching the front of the body, maybe wiggle your hips side to side. And then curling the spine up, pressing the hands and the tops of the feet into the floor, feeling that space between all of your ribs at the back of the body, curling the tailbone under. And then again, arching in the back. Think about really lifting the chest up and forwards through the shoulders. Shoulders away from the ears. Again, have a little wiggle if you're so inclined. And exhalation, curling the spine up. Feeling into every vertebrae. And curling back down. Good. And you can take a disco cat if you like, which apparently isn't the technical term, but it's fun. So really curling your spine around, drawing circles with your belly button. And opposite direction. I like to really get in my shoulders when I'm doing this, wiggling all around. Especially if you spend ages lying in bed like I do. Quite good to crack the concrete off your body from all your slovenliness. Okay, hands forward, just about a hand's width, and then curling the toes under. We're going to come up into downward dog. I do this quite often so I can kind of go straight into it, but you don't need to be straight legs straight away. You know, you can have your knees bent, really wiggle into it, feel into your body. Really pressing into the floor with your hands, walking out the feet. Good. And feeling a lift up through the front of your thighs. And then as if it goes up over your hips and down the back of your legs, like a conveyor belt of energy. And then the same coming up through the front of the body and then down over the back. It's a good way to energetically think of the lift up through the hips and the release back down through the back of the heels. Okay, and then coming forward into a plank position. Knees to the floor, chest to the floor, and coming up into a baby cobra. And then toes under and pushing back up into downward dog. Nice. And I'm going to step forward, left foot, right foot. You can keep the knees bent if you want, reaching up, hands on knees or shins, lifting forwards, folding back down, and then pressing feet into the floor, lifting the arms up above the head in prayer position, and back down by the sides. Okay, taking the arms back up to prayer, bringing them down through the center of the body, folding forwards. Feel free to bend your knees in this position. Lifting the chest up and forwards. You can have your hands on your knees or on blocks. And then stepping back into plank. I'm going to go into full chaturanga, or you can do knees, chest, chin again. Baby cobra or up to down face dog. And pushing back into down face dog. Now lifting up your left leg, three-legged dog. Take a moment to circle your ankle one way then the other. And then bend in the knee, open up in the hip. And then coming back, stepping the foot between the hands, dropping the back knee. And we're coming up into a low lunge. So lifting the arms, you can untuck the back foot if you want, or keep the toes up, whatever you fancy. Leaning forwards, feeling that stretch in the front thigh. Hands down either side of the foot. Take that foot back in chaturanga or knees, chest, chin, upward dog or baby cobra. And then back into Ardha Mukha Svanasana, down face dog. Okay, now up with the opposite leg, circle the ankle, one way and the opposite way, bending the knee, opening the thigh. And then stepping that foot forward between the hands, dropping the back knee, arms up, low lunge. Something I didn't do on the other side, which is quite nice, is to cactus the arms here. Lifting it up through the chest. Sometimes I get a nice crack in my sternum on the top of my back when I do this. It's so nice. I'm not getting it today. Okay, lifting the arms up, hands either side of the foot. Excuse me. Back into plank, chaturanga, or knees, chest, chin. Upward facing dog. And downward facing dog. when I stretch out in the sides. If at any point you want to, you can come down to child's pose as well. So dropping the knees, resting your head on the mat, stretching the arms out. Any point you can do that and go with the feeling of your own body. I'm going at my own pace because this is like my practice. But if you're new to it, you can just modify and don't push too far. Don't do anything that feels bad for your body. This is about getting embodied, not wrecking yourself. So stepping both feet forwards. And resting forward. Take hold of the elbows and just let your body relax down over the thighs. You can bend in the knees. Let the ribs come onto the thighs. Relax the head. Blubber the lips if you want. I can't really blubber my lips upside down. I'm often told to do that by another teacher, but I have to be upright to do that. Anyway, I digress. Okay, pressing into the feet, rolling up slowly, one vertebra at a time. Careful you don't get dizzy. Okay, let's do a couple of standing postures. So, first, let's do, I've forgotten what it's called, standing up pose. So stand, arms either side of the body, press your big toes into the floor, spread out the rest of the toes. And then feel like you're kind of pulling up through the thighs, sewing up through your body, through the pelvic floor, buoyant, light. So you're becoming lighter. Think about every vertebrae stacking on top of the other and lifting the head up. Nice and straight, relaxed. Arms are down by the sides. You can play with closing the eyes. Deep inhalations and exhalations. Just feeling all the conveyor belts of energy in your body. Conscious of how you feel. Where's your breath going? Is your mind busy? Is your body steady or swaying? And just notice it. Energy through the arms and the fingers. Now we're going to come to balance. So if you take your weight into your left foot or right foot, one of your feet, coming onto the tiptoes of your opposite foot, you can either, and again, think about that lift through the body, the pulling up through the pelvic floor will help with your stability, but not going like crazy, just a gentle lift. And then you can put your foot to your knee, not on your knee directly, but look how it's in my the arch there. So I'm not pressing on it. Nothing's going to go horribly wrong. You can even come lower than that, or if you want, you can take it right up into the top of your thigh. And then pressing the feet and thigh or the leg against each other, you can get further lift through the body. And think about taking that knee out towards the side. It's a really lovely hip opener, and the psoas is connected. Deep muscle that comes through here is connected to your diaphragm and lower back, kind of mid-lower back. Sorry, Jim and Kadeen again. I'll get the vertebrae numbers for next time. But what it means is that by having that openness through your hips, for example, then you have an openness through the breath. And with an openness through the breath, you get an openness in the mind, you get more integrated, you just feel generally more whole, complete and happy. So that'd be nice. Okay, so you can take the arms up into prayer above the head or to the chest. I find when I press my hands together, it really helps with balance as well. So bringing the arms up. Be a lot more challenging is moving the gaze. You could play with that if you're feeling steady. Bringing the gaze back down. And the chest. You can also try with closing your eyes. Sorry, my noises probably aren't helping. Very steady. Okay, before we come down, actually lifting the knee up, purling that knee in towards the chest, taking hold of a big toe or the foot, and then you can take the leg out to the front. It doesn't need to be straight, just play with your balance there. Leela, Sanskrit for play. It's very important. It's one of the things that stops us from killing each other. We probably need a lot more playing by the looks of things. So taking the leg out, moving to the side. Don't worry if you fall, as long as it's not on any sharp objects. Good, and then bringing the foot back to the front, taking it down. Rolling out the ankle, the standing leg. It might be quite achy by now. Good, give it a shake. It's always fun to have a shake anyway. Okay, and then coming to stand on your right foot, or the opposite one. Come into either the lower leg, arch the foot across the knee, or a bit higher up, wherever works for you. Thinking about that lifting up through the pelvic floor, zipping up through the body. Breath big and expansive. And then settling in. Do as you wish with the arms, maybe take them overhead. You can play with looking up towards your hands. And to sway is okay. If you did it on the opposite side, try closing your eyes. Use the breath to steady yourself. Okay, taking the knee to the chest. Taking hold of that big toe or the outside of the foot. And you can stretch out or keep the knee bent, but just play with the movement. Ooh, and the balance. Or lack of. Play with it anyway. Okay, come back to the front. Bring that leg down. Itchy nose. And then shaking out the standing legs. Now we're going to take a stance a bit wider, heels out, toes inwards, makes a bit of space in the lower back. And then hands on the back of the hips, lifting the chest up. As Jim Tarrant says, like a superhero. We need those. We can all be those, I reckon. So chest up and forwards, elbows back. And then we're going to bend at the hips and lean forwards, bringing the hands towards the floor. Again, you do it to suit your own flexibility. You can have blocks or something to come onto. You don't need to go all the way down. If you can or wish to, then you can come further, taking the hands between the feet. And keep lifting up through the chest and thinking about really elongating the body, the vertebrae, and then lowering down from the hips. Don't overdo it. There's nowhere to arrive at apart from being integrated rather than scattered and uncentered. So I like to bend my knees from side to side in this position. Let's get even further. That feels really nice. So you can come, move your hands to one side, taking the opposite leg onto the heel. You can push with your elbow into your bent leg to really open up the hips. Again, not pushing too far. There's no particular posture that you need to get into. It's what I'm doing right now is getting a really nice stretch in my thigh of the outstretched leg and a nice opening in my bent hip. It doesn't have to be in this position, but it feels really nice when I'm doing it. So just find something that feels really nice. It doesn't have to go all the way down. It might go way further, depending what you've been up to in your life and how your body fits together. Okay, and then coming back to center. Hands on the floor, in front, or on blocks if you have blocks. Hands on hips, slight bend in the knees, and we're coming up slowly. You might get lightheaded if your head is upside down for a while, so just be careful with that. Heel toe the feet together. Good. And now we're going to come back to the top of the mat. Arms up into prayer. Big wide arms down. Coming to the floor. Again, you can bend the knees if you wish. Chest up and forwards. Hands either side of the feet. Plank. Chaturanga. Down face dog. Up face dog. Down face dog now. Good, this time, left leg up. Stepping forwards between the hands. Coming into Virabhadrasana 1, Warrior 1. So here I've got a bit of a gap between my feet, as in they're hip distance apart. And then the back heel is pointing outwards while the toes are pointing forwards. And I'm thinking about moving my back hip so that it's in line, so my hips are pointing forwards. But that's why I've got that space horizontally between my feet, so I'm not, hurting myself. So arms up. Again, let's do the cactus arms. Arms up. Come in, hands either side of the foot at the front. Back into plank, chaturanga, upward face dog, downward face dog. Take a couple of breaths. Remember child's pose anytime. Lifting the right leg and stepping forwards between the hands. Dropping that back heel. I'm adjusting my feet a bit so I've got a bit more space in my hips. And coming up, Virabhadrasana 1, opposite side. Cactus arms. And pushing back up. Taking a deep breath in. Exhalation, hands either side of the front foot, stepping back into plank, chaturanga, upward face dog, down face dog. And taking a few breaths either here or in child's pose. Making sure there's no tension in the neck or the face. Okay, next we're going to raise the left leg again, stepping forwards. This time we want the heels, the back arch of the back foot, the arch of the back foot to be aligned with the heel of the front foot. And we're going to come into Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2. So this time our body is facing the side, facing the wall or whatever it is you're facing, sideways onto your mat, let's say. Inhalation, exhalation. And then we're going to reverse the warrior. So I'm bringing my hand to the back leg, just gently touching while I feel that really great stretch through the front of the body. Front side of the body, I should say. And then bringing the elbow to that front knee. Stretch with the upper arm. From fingertips to toes, really feeling that lovely stretch through the body. You can tilt the body back, forwards, finding where you get really nice, juicy, lovely spots of release and integration. Okay, coming back up. I'm straightening that front knee, maybe shortening my stance a little bit. Going to come into triangle pose, And you can use a block for this, which might be quite nice. You could put it at the back of your foot, front of your foot. And what I'm thinking of here is really hitching forward with the hips. So it's like Elvis hips. Again, another Jim Tarrant classic. So thinking about bending forwards at this crease here, really reaching forwards with that front arm. And it's the space you're making from the reach that brings you down rather than collapsing. Taking the top arm up. You can adjust settings as you need on your block, or you can just rest on your leg as well. If you don't have a block to hand, or use books or whatever. So I've got my back to you. It's been a while since I did any kind of teaching. Okay, and coming back up. Now bringing the feet to the front. Turning to the opposite side. I'm going to widen the stance a little bit. Actually, no, we're going to come all the way down. So you can go to whichever end of the mat you like. Arms are coming up. I'm going to this end, so I'll face you next time. So arms up, coming down, hands either side of the feet. Up with the chest. Stepping back into plank. We're going to go for a chaturanga if you wish. Upward face dog. Down face dog. Okay, this time right leg comes up. Stepping forward between the hands, dropping the back heel. And again, making sure that that back arch of a foot is in line with the front heel of the foot. And the back toes are slightly forwards while the heel is out. Oh wait, I've got Virabhadrasana 1 arms, how silly. Virabhadrasana 2 arms. So we're facing out to the side this time. Inhalation, exhalation. Think about opening with this knee. So this knee is turning out, this hip is turning forwards, and the body is coming towards the front. Those are the kind of directions. I'm pushing back through the back arch of that foot, the back edge of that foot, pressing down with the toes, and really stretching out with the arms, looking over the front arm. And we're coming to reverse the warrior. So leaning backwards, placing the back hand perhaps on your leg, lifting the arm up and over, leaning towards the back. Feel a big stretch in this part of the body. On the front side. And then bringing the elbow to the knee. Bringing the arm above the ear. So you've got a really nice long stretch from the tip of the fingers to the back heel and outer edge of the foot. I feel a really amazing stretch all along here when I do this one. It's so good. Deep inhalation. Coming up, shortening the stance slightly. We're going to come into Trikonasana, triangle pose. So again, think about hitching the hips back, really leaning forward with that front hand. You can have your block if you wish, or you can bring the hand to the leg. You're reaching up with that top arm, thinking about turning the body, the top shoulder back, so you're creating space all along both sides of the body. Space for the breath, elongating, spreading out through the toes, reaching through both legs and arms, and from the top of the head, making space. Deep inhalation, pressing into the feet, coming up to stand. And then we're going to come back to the center. I'm just going to plonk us down now onto sitting. You can either have this leg out in front, or you can curl it round so that your sitting bones are still on the floor, but your knee is here. And then the other leg, but your heel is up by your bum. And the other leg is going to go to the other side of the knee. So you're either here, sitting up tall, or you're here. And in this position, you can also, again, use props if that's helpful, a book or a block, whatever it might be. that your bum is lifted very high so you can use support in that circumstance. So we're going to, whichever knee is on top, we're going to take the same hand as that knee behind us, placing the fingertips on the floor. And then the opposite arm, so wherever your foot is next to your knee, this leg might be out straight, you're going to lift that arm up and place the elbow to the opposite side of that knee. Think about lifting up through the crown of the head on an inhalation, and on an exhalation you're turning towards that back arm. So it's like you're rinsing out a flannel with your body, with your spine. It might be that that's a bit too twisty or uncomfortable. You can also just take the hand to the knee, and the twist is coming from the body, you're not pulling, but rather twisting from the inside out. Inhalation, exhalation. Okay, coming back to center. I'm going to swap which leg is in front. So either you're taking the opposite leg straight and putting the foot to the other side, or that straight leg bends. So both sitting bones are on the floor and your opposite heel is next to the opposite hip. Bringing the foot over to the other side of the knee that's in front. Whichever knee is on top, that same arm comes up, fingertips on the floor behind you. And then the arm that's left behind comes up and either elbow across that top knee, or you might hold on to that top knee. All the time thinking about really lifting up through the crown of the head, making space between the vertebrae. Both of your sitting bones are on the floor or on a block. Inhalation, and rinsing out the flannel as you turn to the other side. Coming from the inside out, thinking about all of the lovely juices you can get flowing, and what's it called again? The fascia that you can melt away by moving your body in this way. Makes you a lot more free. Freer breath, freer mind, freer body. Okay, coming back to the front. Now we're going to do a forward stretch. So both legs out in front, and you definitely might want to have something under your bum for this one, just to help with that tilt of the pelvis. So you might be sitting on a block like so, pulling the sitting bones back. And then let's have tension in the legs. So see how I'm pulling the toes back towards my heels. Again, I'm thinking about really lifting with the chest, like when we're stood with the feet either side earlier for the forwards fold. Thinking about aliveness through the legs and pulling forwards with the chest, bending at the crease of the hips. And just going really slowly, like we're not trying to actually get our toes onto our forehead. I don't know if that's even physically possible. You'd have to have really little legs. But we're not trying to get anywhere in particular. We're trying to release and integrate. So using the breath, it might be that you can reach your feet, it might be that you're here, you might be up here, and that's totally fine. So long as you're letting go, breathing, connecting your body with your breath, and thinking about the release, wherever that release needs to happen for you. Inhalation, lifting up with the chest. Exhalation, elongating through the spine and folding at the hips. For those of you who are a bit more flexible, I've got quite wonky legs, feet and ankles. I find it's really lovely to make my feet, or to help my feet to get straight. You see how they're kind of like this if I don't touch them. Maybe it's all those years of circus. But I really like to bring them together like this, and then it gets into other parts of my legs that maybe I'm not stretching that often, and it feels really lovely. So explore your own body and see what works for you. No one's exactly the same. Thank goodness. Okay, lifting up with the chest, stretching down and forwards. Coming back up. If you've got a block, get rid of it. Should we do another one before Shavasana? Yes, okay, let's do pigeon pose. So coming on to, let's go back into downward dog. We're going to lift the left leg, and then this time bring the left ankle towards the right wrist and the left knee towards the left wrist. so it's laying down in front, if you can see that. And then I like to walk my feet back a little bit at the back. I walk my toes back to create a bit more space so that I can bring my hips down to the mat. And this isn't for everyone. A lot of people are a lot more flexible than me in this position, and a lot of people are a lot not. So if you're a lot not, you might want to use a block, for instance, again, under the hips to support in this position. You should find a place where you can release and relax. If you're a lot more flexible, it may be that you want to take this foot a lot more horizontally, so you can bring the foot further forwards. And then think about bringing this hip of the straight leg down towards the floor so that the hips are parallel to the mat. Lifting up with the chest. I'm going to come forwards and rest over that front thigh. If you flex the foot, make sure that there's no pain in the knee here, and you can flex that front foot to protect the knee joint. You shouldn't feel any sharp pain in the knee. If ever you do, stop what you're doing. Okay. I should say stop what you're doing and make any necessary adjustments, whether that's mats, bolsters, supports, moving out a little bit from the posture, easing up, changing angles. Explore with your body and use your breath as a guide. If you're not breathing, it's probably not good. Okay. Coming back into downward dog, walking out the legs, lifting the right leg up, and right ankle to right wrist, right knee, right ankle to left wrist, right knee to right wrist. Walking back those toes of the back leg, lifting up, making any adjustments you need to. Feeling a really great stretch in that front glute at the moment. Inhalation, we're going to walk the arms forward, lie over that front leg. Okay, coming back up. We are going to do something else now. So coming into plank. And then we're going to slowly lower down to the mat. So from here, we're going to take the right arm and put it in a diagonal position. Remove any debris from near the mat. So it's diagonal in the opposite direction. I'm laying my cheek facing the opposite way. And then I've got my hand next to my chest. I'm going to lift the left leg up and bring it round to the opposite side. So I can bring my foot down to the floor here. I'm not really pressing or pushing, but this is a real stretch for my upper chest, twist in the spine, and also my pec and the front of my shoulder that's underneath me. So you don't need to bring your foot here, or it might be that you could take your other leg up as well, so that you have both feet up. But the main aim is to get that release through the chest, opening through the chest, twist through the spine without hurting yourself. Okay, coming back to center and do the opposite side. So left arm stretches out on a diagonal. Opposite leg comes up and over. Oh, lovely cracks. That is such a good stretch. Yeah, come to where works for you. This is the direction. You don't need to get into the same position exactly. Little micro movements are always good as well. I like to kind of sway and bob whatever position I get into. Helps to make sure that you're not gripping or holding your breath and other such things. Let's do a quick little, bring the elbows together, the hands together, elbows underneath the shoulders, tuck the toes under and coming into a low plank. Think about really lifting up through the core. Build up a bit of fire. If this is too much, you can come onto your hands as well, into a standard plank. And we're going to do both sides as well, so twisting over to stack one foot on top of the other. Again, you can do this with the bottom arm straight, if that's better for you. You think about lifting up through the hips, arm up. Good, and opposite side. Lifting up here, so we're not like this, we're not like this. Good. And then coming up into plank, back to down face dog. And you can step, walk, or jump through to seated. Let's do one of these things while we're here. I've forgotten what they're called. So leaning back so that you've got a bit of a counterbalance going on, and lifting the knees up, arms forward. You can straighten the legs if that works for you. Think about lifting the chest up and back, engaging the core, thighs together. Well, my thighs don't go together, actually, there's a big old gap, but you know, the intention's there. Chest up. Good, and feet down. Gonna slowly roll back, one vertebra at a time. Arms wide. Okay, now straightening the right leg down. I'm going to bend the left leg up. You might want to shimmy your hips slightly towards the left. And then we're going to take that knee to the opposite side. Cross the body. Look in the opposite way if that's all right for your neck. Breathing into the twist. You can take your hand to that knee. As you breathe, just releasing, letting go, relaxing down. Okay, coming back to center. I'm going to do the opposite side. I forgot to bend the knee in first, that's always nice. Bringing the knee in towards the chest. Arms out straight. Might want to shimmy your hips a little bit to the right. And taking that right knee over to the left-hand side. Looking the opposite way. Oh, it's one of my favourite things. Okay. I've decided to skip the back bend. We did lots of back bends anyway as part of downward dogs, upward dogs and all that jazz. But next time we'll do some. So now we're going to come into Shavasana. So for this, you might want to have something like under your knees, like a pillow or something under your knees, or a bolster if you've got one, because that can really help to release your lower back. If you've got tension in your lower back, it's just a really super comfy position. You might want something under your head, but not too much. Think about making sure that the head isn't tilted back, so you want the chin to be down towards the chest. I like to tuck my shoulder blades under so my chest really opens up, and then flop my arms out, palms facing upwards. And then I have my heels and legs a bit further than hip distance apart, but not too wide, so it's not compressing in my lower back. I tuck my tailbone under sometimes as well to get that elongation and release through the lower back. And then closing the eyes and just letting everything settle in. Feeling the little aftershocks, vibrations. Not controlling, but just noticing your breath. See if you can just sink into a deep state of peacefulness here. Basking in the afterglow. So when you're centered and steady and peaceful, you're much stronger and more capable to show up for those that need it and for yourself. And goodness knows we need that more than ever in humanity right now. So really fill up, drop in. You can, and I do recommend that you stay here for as long as you can. It's the most important of all of the moves, I'd say, the moves of yoga. Otherwise, if you do need to get up, when you are getting up, if you come and lie to one side, we're going to do both sides. So turn to one side first, maybe use your arm as a cushion under the head. And think about lifting the knees up towards the chest or above hip height. A very comforting, protective position. We're going to go to the opposite side again. Maybe a cushion for the head with the arm, knees up. And then nice and slowly coming up to a seated position. And bringing the hands to the heart center, pressing the thumbs into the chest. And again, just feeling that sense of integration, steadiness, calm. You can do what you need to do, and it's all good. And if you wish, you can bring your thumbs to the heart, to the third eye, to the forehead. If I want to bring my thumbs here, it can help me have some mental clarity and focus. It's very calming. Thank you if you did join this. Thanks for joining my practice. It's a bit random, I guess, because it was just me doing my thing and I thought I'd share it. So sorry if it's not the most professional in the world. But yeah, enjoy the rest of your day or your night or your snooze, or whatever it is you're about to do. And let's make the world a better place however we can. Good luck. See you later.